yogis, it's Alyssa, and I'm gonna do a flow with you guys now that is specifically designed for cross training. So on the days where you are, hey yogis, it's Alyssa, and I'm gonna teach you now Hey yogis, it's Alyssa, and today we're going to do about 25 minutes of flow that is designed to benefit those of you that are daily runners, daily cyclists, maybe CrossFitters, anybody who is doing a lot of movement and is not spending a lot of time stretching. So this is just going to be a really stretchy, move your body kind of flow. So let's get started. Let's see how we feel. And we're gonna start in a tabletop. So come onto hands and knees with your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. And close your eyes here. Spread your fingers. Just move your hips side to side a little bit there. See if you awaken any sensation just by moving the hips side to side. And you might even start to feel your hands. You might even start to feel your wrists straight away. If you've got any kind of pain or discomfort, or you want to keep off your wrists for now, feel free to come down onto your elbows instead. And we're just moving the hips side to side. Close your eyes. And if you're not feeling much sensation here, that's fine. You could keep doing exactly what you're doing. Or you could play a little bit, maybe taking the hips a little bit further. Just seeing how it feels to move the hips side to side. And then come back to center, bring your big toes together and sit back to your heels. Now this is not going to be great for everyone. Not everybody's going to be able to hang out in child's pose like this. If you're comfortable, just hang out, you're fine. If you're not comfortable and you're finding this really unpleasant, you can come in and out of it. So with your forearms down or even your hands down, you can lift your bum and then sit your bum back. All I ask is that you close your eyes for these next few moments and you just, again, see what sensation you're awakening here in your body. So don't really stress about right or wrong or where you're supposed to feel this, because we're all going to experience this differently. We're just incorporating a little bit of movement in the body to wake up a little bit, to awaken some sensation. Let's just do that one more time. So sit the bum all the way back to the heels, just for a moment there. Nestle back, rest your forehead down if you can. If the forehead is up, that's fine too. But if it'll go down, you can let it go down. And just take a deep breath in and then let it go, sigh it out. Now come forward, all the way forward so that you come onto your forearms, onto your front body. And bring your elbows under your shoulders. Roll your shoulders back in space. Bring your feet about as wide as your mat there. Press down into the tops of the feet. Press down into the hips and roll the shoulders back in space. Close the eyes. Again. Just noticing where the sensation is. And sometimes, depending on the shape that your body is in, depending on your body, sometimes you need to pay a little bit more attention. Sometimes the sensation isn't obvious. Sometimes it's really obvious. Now, we're still going to stay in this Sphinx pose. We're just going to start to bring the right shoulder back in space a little bit. Almost like you're crunching into the right side of your torso a little bit and lengthening along the left side of the torso. And then come over to the left. So take your left shoulder back in space and the right side of your torso starts to lengthen a little bit. Your chest starts to turn to the left a little bit. And then let's go back to the right. So we lengthen along the left side of the body. The right side of the body does start to crunch a little bit there. And then one more time back to the left, turning the chest out to the left. And then come all the way back to center. Now come all the way down and slide your hands under your shoulders and then take them a little bit further back. And then bring yourself back up into that tabletop. bringing your knees back under your hips, so adjust yourself there. So hands under your shoulders, spreading your fingers nice and wide there. And then inhale, dip the belly down, lift the bum and lift the chest. Come into cow and tuck your toes under. So feel your shoulders roll back and your chest lifting, and stay there and breathe. And sometimes we might be inclined to relax the belly here because you hear that cue to dip the belly down and lift the bum. But as much as you're arching into the back there and the belly dips down, I want you to keep the belly strong. So draw the navel up into the body. Keep the shoulders back, lifting the chest. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, let's round. So change the position of the pelvis so the tailbone turns down. The chin comes into the chest and the navel hugs up into the body. Really push the mat away from you or the floor. Breathe. Big breaths into the shoulder blades. And then inhale, dip the belly back down, lift the bum, lift the chest, hug the navel up, and then exhale, round. Go back into that cow shape, push the floor away, chin into the chest. And then come back into a neutral spine here, and let's tuck the toes under, and we're gonna lift the knees and walk the hands straight back. So we walk the hands back into a forward fold. Separate your feet there, so that the feet are as wide as your mat. And we're gonna find a big bend in the knees there. So bend the knees so much that it's as if you were gonna sit on a stool that's the same height as your knees. So your bum is going down, pretty much at the same height as your knees. Relax your upper body down, so your head can just rest down. Your hands are down here because your knees are so bent. Take a deep breath. And then as you exhale, start to lift the bum up. And that might mean that your hands start to lift up off the mat, and that's fine. If you can stay low, lift the bum up. And then again, bend the knees nice and deeply as you inhale. And then as you exhale, lift the bum back up, relax the head down. Now, when you lift the bum back up, don't feel like you have to straighten your legs all the way, just straighter so you start to feel that lengthened hamstrings. And then inhale again, bending the knees a lot, relaxing the head, and then exhale, lifting the bum up high again. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, and then exhale, lift the bum up. Now, bring your feet back in just a little bit, so they're about a little bit, just wider than the hips here. So not as wide as the mat anymore, but still about as wide as your, wide as your hips, a little bit wider. Then take your right hand down in front of you. And if you feel really far from the floor here, bend your knees. That's fine, just bend your knees. Lift your chest here, so lengthen your heart forward. Keep your right knee really bent, and then straighten your left leg, and take your left arm and reach it up to the sky. Just relax the head here, so you can look down, or you can turn to the left, but relax the head, so don't try and look up or lift the head. Bending the right knee a lot, straightening the left leg, and then lengthening along the left side of the body so that the back of the left thigh and the back of the left bum is going back towards the wall behind you. Lift up with that left arm. Take one more breath. And then bring your left hand down, both knees bend a lot there so you can get that left hand down. And then just the right leg will straighten, left knee stays very bent, right arm reaches up to the sky. So reach up with the right arm and take the back of the right leg and the right bum cheek back in space, lengthening along the right side of the body, reach the right arm to the sky, relax the head, breathe. Another breath there. And then come all the way back down to center, softening the knees, relax down. Now inhale here, rise up halfway so you can slide your hands up your shins here, or come to the fingertips. We're gonna find a flat back and straight leg. So you can slide your hands up as much as you need to, roll the shoulders back in space, pull the chest forward, and then exhale, fold again. So softening the knees, dropping the head down. Do that again just like that. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, flat back and straight legs. And then exhale, fold all the way back down. We're gonna do that one more time. Inhale, rise halfway, lengthening into a flat back. And then exhale, folding all the way down, dropping the crown of the head down. Now, bend your knees enough here so that you can bring your hands down to the mat, and we're gonna start to walk the hands forward into downward facing dog, walking the hands all the way forward to the front of the mat. Now, bring your shoulders forward over your wrists, coming into a plank pose. We're not gonna stay here, so don't bring the knees down. Press the heels back behind you, and then press the hips back up into the downward facing dog, and walk your hands, mindful steps, all the way back to your legs. And then inhale here, rise up halfway, lengthening into that flat back again. And then exhale, bring your hands down and walk forward into your downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into plank. Make this a rock solid plank, kicking your heels back, pulling your chest forward. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the bum up and walk your hands back to your feet. One more time like that. Inhale, rise halfway, lengthen. And then exhale, mindful steps. Hands come forward into your downward facing dog. Connect the breath. Inhale, come forward into plank. Rock solid in your plank. And then exhale, go all the way back into your downward facing dog. Walk your hands all the way back to your feet. So now you're at the back of the mat and you're in a forward fold. Soften your knees, drop down. We're going to bring the right hand down again in front of your face. Bend your right knee a lot, straighten your left leg, take your left arm up to the sky. Now this time, let's take the left arm, turn the palm to face back behind you, wrap that left arm back behind you and grab the right thigh and turn the chest up towards the ceiling, relax the head. And you can be on the fingers of that right hand, you can be on the knuckles, or the hand can be flat. Take another breath. And then come back to center, bring the left hand down, bend the left knee, straighten the right leg, take your right arm up to the sky. Take that right arm, turn the palm back to face around back behind you, and then wrap around that left thigh, or maybe the hand rests somewhere on the low back. Turn your chest up to the sky. Another breath. And then bring your right hand all the way back down, coming back down into a fold. Take an inhale, rise up halfway, lengthen into a flat back. And as you exhale, walk your hands again, mindful steps of the hands forward to the front of the mat, coming back into your downward facing dog. Now, let's hang in this down dog for a few breaths, pressing the bum back. The knees can be bent. You can be pedaling out the legs. You can be still. It really just depends on how you feel. So if you feel pretty tight in the back body, you're going to want to bend or you're going to want to pedal. If you're feeling pretty open right now, maybe the heels start to sink down and you start to lift the bum up. Take another breath and exhale it out. And then inhale, come forward into plank, bringing your shoulders forward over your wrists. And then exhale, go back into downward facing dog. Now let's walk the feet forward to your hands. So you come into a forward fold at the front of your mat. Feet about hips distance, maybe a little wider, soften the knees, drop down. And then inhale, rise up halfway, lengthen it back again into a flat back. And as you exhale, bring your hands down to the mat. So bend your knees as much as you need to. Bend your knees, bring your hands down and step your right foot all the way to the back of the mat. So we're going to wind up in a lunge. Now take your right knee down to the mat and let your hips drop down. Hands are going to stay down under your shoulders on either side of your left foot. So rather than reaching forward, keep your hands on either side of your left foot and let your hips drop down for an inhale. And then as you exhale, start to pull the hips back. Now you might not get very far before it becomes too big of a stretch in the back of the left leg, and that's fine. Or you can keep pulling the hips back until the left leg gets straight. And then inhale, come forward again, send the hips forward. And then exhale, pull the hips back. And again, inhale, come forward, drop the hips forward, and then exhale, all the way back, pull the hips back. Now inhale, come forward again, send the hips forward, and then as you exhale, lift the back knee, plant the right hand, and reach your left arm up to the sky to twist. So hug the hips in towards the body, deep bend in the left knee, push the right leg super straight, and take your left arm up to the sky for a deep breath. Let it go. And then bring your left hand all the way down, and we're going to step back into downward facing dog again, all the way back, lifting the bum. Again, bending the knees, pedaling or sitting in stillness, but use the arms, push the mat away, lengthen through the arms, lift the armpits up away from the mat, and pedal or still or bend. Another breath. And then
Walk your feet forward to your hands so you come back into a forward fold at the front of your mat. Take an inhale, rise up halfway, lengthen into a flat back. And then as you exhale, hands come down, bend your knees, hands run either side of the feet, step your left foot to the back of the mat and go all the way back. So you wind up with your right knee over your right ankle. Take the left knee down to the mat, sink the hips forward on your inhale. And as you exhale, pull the hips back. Again, only as far as feels accessible. Inhale, sink the hips forward. Exhale, pull it back. Inhale, hips forward. Exhale, hips back. And then inhale, come forward. Plant the left hand, lift the back knee as you exhale, right arm up to the sky to twist. Hugging the arms in towards each other. Hugging the hips, I don't know what I just said, but hugging the hips in towards each other, lifting the chest to the sky and pressing the left leg straight, breathe. And another breath in. And then right hand comes down and we step back into downward facing dog. Now let's see here if we can find stillness. And your stillness might be soft knees or it might be the legs a little bit straighter, but let's just see how it feels to sink into stillness for 3 breaths. Spread the fingers, take the weight back into the legs. 2 more breaths. Last breath. And then slowly we'll walk the feet forward to the hands, coming all the way back into the front of your mat. Take an inhale, rise up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, take your arms all the way up to the sky, or Hastasana. Little back bend here, lifting the chest up, toning through the low belly. And then exhale, arms by your sides. Let's bring the feet together here so that the big toes are touching. Bring your hands into your heart center, pressing your palms together. Send your weight into your left foot and lift your right knee up into your chest. Point your right toes. And then start to take your right leg and extend it back behind you, turning the right toes down. Flex the right foot so that the toes face down the knee, the thigh. Take 1 more breath. And then bend the left knee, step the right foot to the back of the mat. Now, straighten both legs. Left toes are facing forward to the front of the mat. Right heel has pivoted back towards the back of the mat, toes down. Reach your arms out wide, and then start to reach your left fingertips past your left toes. Reach. Keep that nice long line along the left side of the body, and then take your left hand down to your left leg or your left foot, or maybe a block if you have blocks on the inside of the left foot. Right arm up to the sky and really reach up with that right arm. Press down into both feet. Deep breath in. And then exhale, come back into your warrior 2, or come into warrior 2, bending into the left knee, reaching the arms out wide. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale, bring your hands all the way down, pivot to the ball of the back foot and step forward, front of the mat. Inhale, rise up halfway, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, take your arms to the sky, lift the chest, find that little back bend up high. And exhale, arms by your sides. Feet come together. Hands to the heart, pressing the palms together. Left knee comes up into the chest, point the left toes, take an inhale. As you exhale, start to extend the left leg back behind you, flex the left foot, turn the toes down, left thigh, left knee facing down. And then bend into that right knee, step your left foot to the back of the mat, reaching the arms out wide, and then straighten your right leg. So you've got right toes facing forward, left heel turned back. Inhale, reach the right fingertips forward for your Trikonasana, your triangle pose. And then exhale, right hand down, left arm up to the sky. Keep that length along the right side of the body. Try not to crunch. Breathe. Sometimes that right bum will travel back behind you, so keep that right bum wrapping back into the body. Take 1 more breath. Exhale it out. And then bend into your right knee. Inhale, come back into your warrior 2. And as you exhale, bring your hands all the way down, pivot to the ball of the back foot, and step forward, front of the mat. Inhale, rise up halfway, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Bring your feet as wide as your mat. Soften your knees. Drop down. Inhale, rise up halfway, lengthen, straight legs, flat back. Exhale, fold. And do that again. Inhale, rise halfway, lengthen. And exhale, fold. And one more time, inhale. And exhale. And turn the toes out. Heels in, toes out. Take the bum down as low as it will go for a squat. It's okay if the heels lift, but if the heels will stay down, keep them down. Bring your elbows into your inner thighs and use the arms to push the knees wide and reach your arms out wide too. Activate your fingers, spread your fingers wide. Squeeze your bum and really use your arms to push the knees wider. Take another breath. And then release. Bring your hands down. We're going to come all the way onto the back now. So lie down and bring your right knee and cross it all the way over your left knee. So all the way over, like you're sitting in a chair with a skirt on. So not an ankle over thigh situation, all the way over. And then hug the knees in towards the chest. Give them a nice firm hug in. Now, if you're getting a lot of sensation in your outer right hip, especially here, then you're probably good to stay right here. But you do have the option, because a lot of people won't get a ton of sensation there and they might go for a little bit more. You're going to lift your heels up away from the bum a little bit and then grab your hands around your ankles or your feet and pull your lower legs apart. So you're pulling your feet out to the sides rather than heels down towards the bum. Heels are lifting away, and we're going to pull the feet, the lower legs, away from each other for a supine Gomukhasana. And then release. Uncross the legs and cross left over right. And same thing again, we're going to start with just hugging the knees in. And then you just see how you feel. You can stay right here if this is a big sensation. If not, maybe lifting the heels up a little and maybe grabbing the ankles again and pulling the lower legs apart. Keep the head relaxed. Another breath. And then release, uncross. And we're going to come to happy baby. So taking the knees wide, lifting the soles of the feet to face the ceiling, reach up, grab a hold of the outer edges of the feet, and take a little rock side to side there. Trying to bring the very bottom of your back down to the mat so you're not hovering up. And then come all the way back to center and relax your legs down to the mat. We're going to take the soles of the feet together and drop the knees out wide. Goalpost the arms, if that's okay. If you goalpost your arms and your hands are miles away from the mat there, just take the arms out wide or bring the hands a little bit higher with those bent elbows. Otherwise, we're going for a little bit of a stretch across the front of the chest. And I did say little, so you're not going for anything intense, but creating some length across the front of the shoulders and the chest. Dropping the backs of the shoulders into the mat. Slowing down the breath. We're just going to take about 10 breaths here. As still as you can be. And if you can't be still and you fidget, at least be aware of your fidgeting. Notice it. And then draw your awareness back into your breath. And then extend your legs long. Take your arms all the way up overhead. Walk your feet over to the left. Walk your legs over to the left. And then cross your right ankle over your left ankle. And then keeping the backs of your shoulders on the mat, we're going to grab a hold of the right wrist and gently start to create a crescent moon shape with the body, a C shape. Gently holding onto the right wrist and pulling the right arm gently straight, creating a big long length along the right side of the body. And then release and walk all the way over to the right. Cross your left ankle over your right. Walk your arms over to the right, but try and keep the back of your shoulders on the mat. Grab your left wrist and gently pull that left arm straight. And then release, come back to center. Now I'm going to give you the option here to take Shavasana, bringing your arms by your sides, separating your legs, getting comfortable, maybe grabbing a blanket or another layer or pillow. If you don't have time today and you need to get going, maybe just spend a minute here. Maybe just give yourself 1 minute. And then whenever you are ready, you'll gently bring yourself back. But I will say thank you and namaste. See you soon.